Okay, so it's about that time of the year again. We have another election coming up, and this time it's coming in Ontario. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, but I do want to talk about it because we do have a new report that Doug Ford and the Ontario PCs will, or could, I should say, call an Ontario election as early as next week. This is being reported today. So election law dictates campaign period must launch on a Wednesday. So today is Wednesday the 22nd. As early as next week would be Wednesday the 29th. Could happen then. It could also happen on the Wednesday after that, which would be early February. But nonetheless, guys, I mean, we've been talking about a potential election. I think I've mentioned it a few times on this channel, but it is going to happen. So on Monday night, Ford's Chief of Staff Patrick Sackville emailed PC staffers telling that the government needs a strong mandate to stand up for Ontario, adding the stronger the mandate, the better. Ford told reporters to stay tuned when asked about the election call Wednesday. Now, I want to look at some election polls that we have coming out of Ontario. Now, Ontario is an interesting province. I am from Ontario, so I know a lot of stuff about Ontario politics specifically, because obviously it's my province. I know a lot of my viewers also from Ontario, so this is mostly for you guys. I'm making this video. But Doug Ford, at least from my understanding as an Ontarian, he's not really hated. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, he's had two majorities, so he's already won two majorities. He won a majority in 2018, he won a majority in 2022. He is still on track to win a majority by a lot in this election as well. But Doug Ford has only one majority, so if he does win a third majority, that could be a pretty big deal. And I will say, 3 majorities as a premier, especially in Ontario, is kind of a big deal. That's kind of a dynasty at that point. So Doug Ford's obviously been doing something right. Now, there's some things that Doug Ford has done that have not been good. You know, the Greenbelt is one thing that comes to mind immediately. COVID, some people have some questions about that. He did do some other things. I think this is pretty much an obvious thing that I'm going to say, but the biggest reason why he's calling the election right now is because of his stance against the United States, you know, just standing up for Canada. You know, he wore that hat, Canada's not for sale. He's been a big advocate for Canada, not only just Ontario, and he's clashed quite a bit with Danielle Smith. Now, you guys probably have your own opinions on that. I'm not going to comment too much on that, but he's had quite some heated discussions with Danielle Smith and had some conflicting views with Danielle Smith. I think that came as actually a good thing for him in the polls because he's standing at 81 seats projected that he's going to win. Now in Ontario, it's only 63 seats that you need for majority, so 81 seats is well above that, and he will win a pretty damn big majority if you think about it. You take a look right here, the odds of winning the most seats, 99% chance. So again, it's super unlikely that they lose. I do want to mention this, though, the NDP. So NDP is led by Marit Stiles, I think that's how you say Marit Stiles, and she's a new leader. She came after Andrew Horwath. Now, if we take a look right here in 2022, Andrew Horwath won, she won only 31 seats. They won 38 seats in 2018, so they went down by 7. Doug Ford went up by 16 seats, man. Now, I do want to mention that the 2022 election had a very low voter turnout rate, so really nobody voted. And I remember that very well. It was coming at the end of COVID, you know, with all the mandates and all that stuff, and people just didn't want the election. It was a scheduled election anyway, so people were projected to vote. I think people were sort of sick and tired, and they didn't really want to vote. It was sort of like a slam dunk for Doug Ford. So people were like, you know, I'll stay home, whatever. And he did get rewarded quite a bit. He won 83 seats, which is pretty big. That's 20 seats over majority. And then if you take a look right here, he had 67 before, so yeah, he went up by 16. Obviously, I mentioned that, I think. I do want to talk about this, though. So this is a clip right here. Doug Ford said that he wants to remove all U.S. alcohol from the shelves if the tariffs go through. So I do want to mention one thing, though, before I say that, before we watch this clip. Donald Trump will not impose the tariffs. Can we just all establish that? He's just trying to get Canada to do as much as they can, so he could say to the American people, hey, look, I threatened Canada, look what they did. They spent, you know, whatever, $1.3 billion on the border. Probably gonna spend a bit more. You know, they're doing stuff that we made them do. I forced them to do this. That's why Donald Trump is doing this stuff. So they're not actually going to impose the tariffs. I'm going to be honest with you. They might impose like a small 2%, 3%, whatever, but it's not going to be a big one. Now let's watch this clip.
Number one, Canada and the U.S. If you think of this, we're the number one export destination to 17 states, number 2 to 11. And I talked to the great governor of Kentucky, and I remember on the last tariffs,
Andy Beshear, by the way,
bourbon. First thing out of his mouth is, "Don't touch my bourbon." And I said, "Governor, That's a serious business down there when you touch with their bourbon. It's like messing with our LCBO. So I said, you know, Governor, you got to talk to your president, because the first thing we're doing, we're getting your bourbon. And I've sent a direction to the LCBO, these tariffs come, to clear off every bit of U.S. alcohol off the shelves. Let's start promoting more Ontario-made wines and the vodkas and spirits. That's what we need to do. We're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the entire world. They will feel the pain. I will make sure I communicate this to our other premiers that they should be following suit.
I don't know if Canada is or not. I'm not really sure about that. I don't really have much of an opinion on alcohol. I'm not going to give my opinion because I really don't have one. But I do want to talk about the numbers. That is not an opinion. These are the facts. Take a look right here. The odds of outcome. PC minority is 4%, so it's gone up a bit. So the PC majority odds of outcome is 96%, but it's gone down a bit. It's gone down a bit, so they've lost some support. Now, if you take a look right here, this is, by the way, updated on Monday, so it's as new as it gets. Take a look right here. I mean, the Ontario PCs, this is when Bonnie Crombie became the leader, by the way, on December 1st of 2023. And ever since then, they really have not made significant inroads, except for this one period of time. This was, I believe, when the Greenbelt scandal broke out. So that's why they gained some support. But then again, I mean, they've gained a bit. You know, they went from, 26 to 28, fine. The PCs went down a bit. At the same time, though, if Doug Ford does call the election next week or, 2 weeks from now, he's going to win a crazy majority. I mean, there's a potential that he does win 93 seats. I don't know. Maybe it will happen. Because he was at one point projected to win 93 seats. By the way, the Ontario legislature has, how many seats is it in total? 124 seats. I mean, could you imagine winning 93 seats out of 124? Let's do the math on that real quick. So if you win 93 out of 124, that would be 75% of the seats. That is an unbelievable majority. That is unbelievable. And again, I do want to talk about this, though. I mean, you got to give the NDP credit, Marit Stiles, some credit for making some inroads for her party. I'm not a fan of the NDP. I'm not a fan of really any party in Ontario politics, but they've been able, because they did have this sort of bump when they went down and the Liberals were leading, but they've been able to sort of recoup and become potentially official opposition. Obviously, anything can change. Bonnie Crombie has gone up quite a bit. She was projected to win 11 seats last week, or last time this was conducted, this poll. And then she shot up to 17. So they've gone up a bit, quite a bit, I should say. And Doug Ford has gone down by like 9 seats. So again, it's not looking too good for him, considering what happened last time in that poll. I do find it weird, though, that he has gone down, though. I do find that kind of weird. I would have thought that he would have gone up. But then again, I mean, he's still well within large majority range, so it's not much of a concern. Again, odds of winning, I mean, 99% chance, not even close, really. PC majority, look at this. Look what happens. This is during the Greenbelt time. There was a serious possibility that if election was held on that day, during the Greenbelt scandal, the PCs would have been limited to a minority. But guess what? They picked it up and they're back at a majority. So not much to worry about for Doug Ford and the PCs. I do want to look at this really quickly. If we take a look right here, yeah. So Polywave is a bit less generous with their polls because they do have the PCs at 79 seats rather than the 81 that has been reported by 338 Canada. Now, this was updated a day before 338 Canada's, but then again, take a look right here. Northern Ontario, obviously a bit more NDP there. Ottawa, a bit more Liberal, makes sense. Toronto, I mean, they're doing much better than I would have thought in Toronto, Liberals. And yeah, I mean, these all make sense. If you are from Ontario, you understand why these splits are like these, or as such, I should say. But again, I think, the overarching theme, the overarching idea is that, yeah, right here, the PCs are going to win a really ridiculous majority. If they don't win a really ridiculous majority, they will win at least a majority of sorts. And again, keep in mind, this is the breaking news of the day. Doug Ford could call an Ontario election as early as next week. That is as of today on the 22nd of January. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you're from Ontario, what do you guys think? Do you guys like Doug Ford? Are you going to vote for someone else? Or are you going to vote for Liberals, NDP, PCs? Let me know. And if you're not from Ontario, are there any questions you have? I can answer some of them But if you are from Ontario, please make sure to answer those questions in the comment section. And even if you're not from Ontario, just provide your insight. What you guys think about Doug Ford? What do you guys think he's going to do in the election? What is he going to outline in his platform? And does he deserve, that's a big question, does he deserve to govern for another term in Ontario with a majority? That's the big question. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, thank you guys for the support, and I will see you all in the next one.